You're watching the SEGADriven YouTube channel, and it's back to our Sonic Amateur Games Expo 2024 coverage. In this video we're taking a look at Azure Plays the game, developed by Azure Plays and Guth Players_YT. Now, this is a Sonic fan game full of original characters that are basically sort of palette swaps of Tails, Sonic and so forth. I don't mind this sort of thing, and if you're making a fan game, then why not fill it with OCs? It's your fan game, have some fun with it. This definitely puts its best foot forward with the first stage, which has some unique and colourful artwork to enjoy, and some decent level design that's a nice mix of platforming and speedy sections as a reward for completing its platforming challenges. But as the game goes on, it starts to feel lazier and more hastily thrown together. You start to notice the graphics and sprites from existing Sonic games, but just with their colours changed. You start to notice the bosses have no second phase, so their patterns become very easy to read and get very repetitive as a result. You start to notice the stage design becoming more flat and more uninteresting to explore. I've got to commend the developer for making lots of stages for this, and their booth on the Sage website does say that the game is 98% complete, and even features a final boss. But I did notice that one stage had only one act when most of them had three. What really made the experience feel sloppy was when I exited the game and it opened a page in my internet browser for the game it's built on top of, which doesn't leave a great first impression, to be honest. I know this game has an open source engine that people are allowed to use, but maybe tighten up the presentation a bit so this stuff doesn't happen. I get the impression that the developer definitely started this project with good intentions and really wanted to make an extremely content-rich experience, but the same level of enthusiasm put into its first stage is not echoed in the stages that follow it. Azure Plays the game gets lazier and more uninteresting to play as it goes on, when it should really be getting more varied to try and keep you engaged. If the developer can go back to these later stages and rework their presentation and designs to be as dynamic and as enjoyable to explore as the first stage, then you could salvage a decent 2D Sonic game out of this. But as it currently stands, it isn't a game that can keep you engaged beyond its first stage. This is a real shame, but I definitely feel like there's hope for this if the developer wants to go back and redesign those later stages. Fingers crossed, eh?